As entrepreneurs, we all have a reason why we chose to leave our 9 to 5 for an 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm here to capture those stories of why we all hustle and grind for our companies. Robert is president of MultiVision Digital, a New York video production and video marketing company that provides the full spectrum of video strategy, video production, and video marketing services. Having produced over 1,500 videos since their inception, MultiVision Digital's holistic approach has allowed clients to increase sales, lead generation, improve SEO rankings, increase awareness, and client loyalty. Clients range from solo entrepreneurs to global Fortune 500 companies across almost every industry. But most importantly, they have executed successful business video strategy plans for every business objective. Robert, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate you being on the show. You're in a space that I have this sort of special bond with, and that's more, not a lot of people know that when I was 16, I tried to start a video production company. So I've got, it's something that's always been in my life for a number of years. And I really love video production. I did it when I was doing online courses, so videos were a huge part of it. And so I'm really excited to hear about your specific version of it, what your kind of special sauce is for it and how you got to it. So thank you so much for being on the show today. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to chatting.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. And listen, everybody loves video.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, a movie is just a 2-hour video.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And it's such a powerful medium. And that's really what I love about it is, and it, kind of one of my big dreams is to be able to create Netflix binge-worthy online courses, video courses, because it's such a versatile medium. And so when you say you're, in your bio says that you're a New York video production company.
Yeah.
What is your special sauce with video production? Because that's a really broad term, and like video production, video marketing, huge term right now, especially with shorts and things.
Yeah.
What's your special version of it? Like, what is your thing?
I think our special sauce is that we're not a video production company.
Love it.
and okay, so let me unpack that a little bit.
Yeah.
People watching or listening, video is just content. That's all it is. And if you take the word video out, from a sales, marketing, training, recruiting, SEO, nurturing, conversion, product launch, advertising, you need content to do all those things. And you need different types of content for all those things. Like one piece of content is not going to solve all of those business objectives. Mm-hmm. And video is just content. So what we've done from day one, and I'll explain why from day one in a moment, is not be a video production company and be a digital marketing company that focuses on sales and marketing content that happens to be video. Now, of course, we've done training and recruiting and stuff like that, but really content that happens to be video. And that's because when I started this, I didn't have any background in video, didn't know what I was doing, but I had a business sense and I was lucky to hire people that knew what they were doing, edit, shoot, turn the dials, and I was able to at least put some savvy to that. Now, it took me a while, to become the video guy. So I put my 10,000 hours in. So I am a video guy now. But when I started, I certainly wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, when you say you weren't a video guy, it was just more on the sales end of things, or what specifically did you do? And let's actually do this because I like this idea better. How did you get to be a video guy, or not even like a non-video guy? How did you get to?
I mean, to some extent, I'm still a non-video guy, I guess, right? Because I don't edit. I remember sitting next to my editor, who I still have after 14 years, and he's clicking and stuff like that. And thinking to myself, I should really learn how to do that. And after he's clicking, I'm like, there's no way. No. There's no way I'm ever going to be as good as him. Mm-hmm. Why waste my time? Mm-hmm. Right? Focus on the sales and marketing. If you don't have sales, you don't have a business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the people that do the shooting and do the editing, they don't want to do sales. Mm-hmm. They want to shoot. They want to edit. That's what they love to do. Mm-hmm. So it's been I'm fortunate that I did get into this career industry because of that dichotomy of the people that are doing the shooting and editing. That's kind of what they went to school for, or they got into it because they just loved it. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to do what I do. Yeah. Now, within that ecosystem of shooting and marketing, shooting and editing, I direct, I produce. So there's a professional services role that they also can't do. I've got a better eye than most of the people that shoot for me, but they're much better with turning the lights and the cameras and
Mhm.
editing. So I've put a team together that's really good, and we don't have any egos about one person trying to do the other one's job
Mhm.
because we just don't want to.
Yeah. And it sounds like you have a synergy with folks where, like you said, you're really good at sales. That's your ninja skill. It's something you're really good at, and then you hired somebody else who has this other skill, bring it all together, and you create really cool stuff together for each other. And
Correct.
I think that's the best way to. I have a good friend of mine, Kelly, that says, the way that he does business is I do cool stuff with my friends. We try to see what sort of stuff we can create. And I think it's a really nice when you bring a few experts together, come in and
Yeah.
then create this really badass product.
Yeah. So this happens a lot, but 3 weeks ago we went down to Tennessee. We're in
Yeah.
New York City now, so I flew and they drove,
Uh,
and we spent 2 days in a manufacturing facility. And we have a plan. We do pre-production. We did a walkthrough, so we had a plan going into it. But with video, 100% of the time, 100% of the plan, 100% never happens because we need
yep.
to figure stuff out, right? This is, and we need to get what we need to get. And we left because I drove home with them, and we're like, we just had so much fun,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So to be able to shoot and work hard for 2 days and leave, like, that was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Like, is a good feeling. And so yeah, we have a really good time figuring stuff out. And I think production people, and I think event production people too,
Mhm.
are some of the most resourceful people out there because you have to get it done. You don't
Mhm.
have another moment to get this done. You can't put it on the shelf. You need to duct tape it or do whatever you need to do behind the camera to get the shot that you need. And we have some stories like that.
I've literally seen production people literally duct tape things to make it work.
Yes.
And it works.
Just needs to hold for 5 minutes. Yeah. Well, we use gaffer tape,
Yeah,
which is a
exactly.
lot stickier than duct tape. But yeah, the method, the analogy is there.
Yes, I found gaffer tape is beautiful. But so it's one of those. I love the fact that you're bringing that synergy, and you brought something up that's really important to that as you have fun doing it, where it's a hell of a lot of work, but it's fun. And I think as entrepreneurs, that's something that we do is we do what we do for fun, and we have an 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. because it's fun to us. We have a
Yeah.
passion for it, and that sounds like what we're doing with your group as well, where you guys all have this passion for it, you're good at, and you just turn into this thing. And now it's just, yeah, we're gonna go out, have some fun, maybe,
Yeah,
maybe make some money on the way
exactly.
through. Maybe
We,
things go right. Maybe we'll have a new experience.
we go play. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Go play.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So now,
Yeah.
as far as your videos, like is there some specific kind of quirky thing you do with them? Or I know there's some video companies, I keep seeing this on my Instagram reel, where they're like that their specialty is the hook, getting people in and holding their attention for a while.
Yeah.
There's a few that do these things. What's your specific kind of deal? Like what do you guys
So,
do to
so
set
I'll
yourself
say,
apart?
when you mentioned on Instagram, right? So
Yeah.
you need some quirky thing for Instagram. You need the
Mhm.
hook for Instagram. Why?
Yeah.
Scroll, 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 scroll. You need to get somebody.
Mhm.
For a recruiting video or a sales video, a product launch video, a nurturing video, you don't necessarily need to do that
Mhm.
so much because there's a reason why somebody is going to go to your website and watch that video. They're
Mhm.
interested in working for you. They're going to buy something. They're going to spend a lot of money,
Mhm.
whatever that is. So you don't necessarily need a hook. Now,
Mhm.
therefore, we've done social media videos. We've done video projects where they're mainly for social media. And
Mhm.
yeah, you need a hook or you need to start with something that will engage, that
Mhm.
that user cares about. And the definition of hook takes many forms.
Mhm.
But yeah, so you need to be thinking about that when creating videos for social media versus a product page or a training video. But you don't really need the hook.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
part of our going back to the secret sauce is I don't care about the what I see in the
Mhm.
video. I don't even care about the video itself.
Mhm.
So what we do, and a lot of clients, they want to start talking about the video first. I want
Mhm.
a video that I see this and this. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, what do you mean? Well, like, what's your strategy? What is the distribution?
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the content if that is appropriate for the strategy and for the distribution,
Yeah.
right? Strategy recruiting, distribution is social media versus distribution is website.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, do you edit this?
I'm sorry? Oh,
Do
the
you edit
podcast?
these?
Not much.
Okay, so we're probably going to hear a siren right there. It happens.
Oh, it's all
You're,
good. We barely heard it. That's okay. I had the same thing
okay.
happen in the middle of another podcast. I had somebody mow the lawn right next to it. I have a window right over here, and the same thing happened. So it's all, I didn't hear it. So
So we did a video once, and we're looking out the window, and the talent's right there, and all of a sudden, some window washers came down, and the whole crew, including their colleagues, started laughing. The guy was like, "What? What did I say?" So obviously, we pointed, and he laughed too after that, but he was mortified for 4 or 5 seconds.
exactly, because when you're used to seeing a camera there and it's very obvious it's a set, and it's like, you're not ready for it. I get it. Yep, I totally get it. It's the fun of producing things, like whether it's videos or podcasts or whatever. Things happen, we get stuff.
Yeah, life happens.
Exactly. So we just do what a mentor of mine once says: is be cool. It's all good. We're
Yes.
good. We just move on. So how, you've got this great thing, and the content that you're making, and I wanted to use Instagram because I think that's something we see very often is a lot of ads for people like, hey, catch my attention really fast, and I call it ADHD mode, just get my attention. Yours a little bit different, and you look at a more holistic approach to things like let's go out and websites and things like that, and just sounds like more what your niche is. Is that
I mean,
fair?
yes and no.
Okay.
So, yes,
Yeah.
exactly what you said, but no, because the Instagram could be part of
Got
that
it.
overall strategy, right?
Okay. Yep.
So here's your strategy: recruiting. Great. How are you going to distribute that? Oh, well, we're going to have it on the main page of our website, but we're also going to promote that via paid ads and
Mm.
or earned social media. Okay,
Mhm.
great. So here's your strategy. Here's your distribution. Then we get to the content, the producing of it. Then I know during that producing that I need to have those deliverables, i.e., a video for their website, video for paid, video for earned. Paid and earned is both social media, but
Yeah.
they're very, very different ways that you're going to carve out content for a paid ad versus an earned like play.
Yeah, so I guess it goes back to what you were saying that the video doesn't matter at this point. I want to see what what strategy I'm going to use with you and what we're going to look at. Like we said, holistic approach to it. Showing, okay, that makes awesome. All right,
Correct.
I think sometimes we get locked into one specific way of thinking, and that's why I like to ask some questions because I figure the audience is going in the same direction. So let's ask them a couple of
All
questions.
good. All
Exactly
good.
what you do. So let's kind of rewind quite a ways and get back to where did you start? Like, what was your start in this whole, like you said, sales is part of it.
Yeah.
Where did you go for that? What start was it? What
So
series of events came to that?
when I started my career, I've always been in like business development
Yeah,
sales,
yeah,
right? For various companies. And then I got into the internet back in the Silicon Alley, Silicon Valley days here in the city.
yeah.
And again, sales, business development, and basically we built websites with front ends and back ends.
Mhm.
And I was the sales guy, but I sat next to my technical teams in meetings and scoping things out. And I was also kind of project manager because I had a relatively medium-sized company. I think we were 45 people
Mhm.
at the heyday of us. But I didn't build those websites, and so I got into various sales and marketing roles in internet marketing technology, websites, front end, back ends, SaaS,
Mhm.
CRMs. I sold this stuff, email, and so I saw the adoption of all these digital marketing tactics, and this one particular event that I went to kind of tripped me off into video,
Mhm.
which I didn't really do anything with it at that particular time, and then like a year and a half later and like came back and I started a video production company with a colleague of mine who was the video guy,
Mhm.
and because he was doing like wedding videos and had a few corporate videos, but that really started it.
Hmm.
We stopped being kind of partners very, very quickly because he
Mhm.
wasn't a very good entrepreneur. So I took it from there, and that's where I was like, I ran with this sales and marketing, and I found people, to execute and be the technical people,
Yeah.
because that's what I had way back when. I had technical people sitting next to me,
Hmm.
and some of those people that I started with are still working for me 14 years later
Hmm.
today. He's like my right hand guy,
Yeah.
and I think looking back, I think entrepreneurship was always something I probably should have done sooner.
Hmm.
My dad, my grandfather, both my grandfathers, my uncles, my cousins, like my brother now, like my other uncle on the other side,
Hmm.
all had their own business.
Yeah.
Not very large, but like small to mid-sized businesses throughout me growing up, and it's like it kind of was in my blood.
Yeah.
So here I am, first time entrepreneur, started the business from not knowing anything about video.
Uh-huh.
14 years later, we've done 1,600 videos. I've got a great crew that, a handful of people work for me. And then if I really, really need to ramp up to a much larger production, I've got people that know me and work for me that I've worked for the last 10 years. And yeah, we're like rated one of the top video production companies in New York City. And if you would have said that 10 years ago, I'd have been like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
New York City, video production in New York City, that you got to be joking. And like,
Yeah.
um, I wouldn't say it's my favorite book, because I know you're going to ask about one of my favorite books, and
Uh-huh.
this is not
Yeah.
my favorite book from back when, but I've read 10x is easier than 2x,
Yeah.
and also listened to some of his podcasts. And one of the things that he says a lot is, don't look ahead, look back.
Hmm.
And if I think about if I use that methodology, I think super proud of what we have achieved. It's not me, it's we. Like I've got a great team, because I could not have done this with me without the people that do the execution and the editing. I'm leading, but they're client facing just as much as I am.
Hmm. Yeah. And
So
you're the
yeah,
visionary. They're integrators, implementers, the ones that actually go out and help you do it. And as a team, you work synergistically. And I think one of the things I've seen people have difficulty with is they have picked the wrong team members, or it just doesn't work right, or something goes wrong. And I think that's something that's a challenge for folks. How did you come about meeting these people that, well, obviously it's work because you've been with each other for 14 years, some of these folks.
yeah, yeah.
How did that help? Like, how did you find them? What sequence of events happened to make that work?
Well, and I also have people that work for me for 8 years and 10 years and
Mhm.
6 years. My makeup girl and my electric gaffer guy. I don't
Uh,
use them all the time,
yeah.
but I use them once or twice a year. But I've known them for 10 years. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So I have a good core of people. Now, hiring people is really hard, and it's really challenging,
Mm.
super challenging. And I will say, for my particular industry, I'm really lucky, because I don't need to hire people.
Mm.
I can hire them for a job.
Yeah.
I can hire them for an edit,
Mhm.
because that's the way the industry is. It's an industry of freelancers. Steven Spielberg does a movie. He hires everybody he's worked with for the last 15 years,
Mhm.
works with them for 5 or 6 months, and then lets them go. But then does the other movie, hires them up again while they're all doing their thing. So again, I'm fortunate that this is the way the industry functions. And I do have people that work for me full time, on
Mhm.
every level. But when I need to ramp up, I can do that. I can test people out.
Mhm.
I can give them a project. And if they say, yeah, I'm going to deliver this on Tuesday, because they've given themselves the deadline, and I
Mhm.
don't have that project by Tuesday, guess what? I will not work with them again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or I invite them onto the shoot.
Yeah.
They've got 10 years experience. They don't jive with my guys and
Mhm.
girl,
Yeah.
they're not going to show up again. But I knew, so I'm lucky that I've built my bench up.
Yeah.
And I've given a lot of people work over the years, and I've sifted through the tea leaves. And now I have a good amount of people that I know, that I trust, that I can rely on. They know me, they know my style, and that's that.
And I think that's something with creative agencies is it's easy for us to do contingent. I have an entirely contingent workforce as well, where I could put people in and I've just worked with them for a while and I know them, and if they don't jive, then they don't get they're not asked back again. And it could also, like you said, it could just be that they just don't jive with my people, and that's it. It's not like there's anything wrong. But
Mhm.
when I got my business degree, that was one of the things they taught us was a contingent workforce, because I think it's such a huge. It is so difficult to hire the right people, that sometimes it's easier to just try it before you buy it and just keep
Yeah.
working with the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I've made my errors in terms of hiring salespeople.
Mhm.
In that, again, I think that's the hardest position ever to fill
Mhm.
because it's performance based. Like if it's like a clerk or somebody that's going to take orders or somebody that's going to do, office stuff, like there's kind of always that work to do, and
Mhm.
you're seeing them. Whereas a salesperson, you know, as much as you can track, you can't. Um,
Mhm.
but knock on wood, I found one, and I'm looking for another one right now. And hopefully I've identified. I'm speaking to her again on Monday. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So I actually kind of want to chat about this a little bit, because being the sales guy and going through this process right now, I know companies get to that point where they think they're ready for a salesperson. And so if you let's say there's an entrepreneur out there who's saying, I'm kind of getting to that point. I think I might be ready for a salesperson, but I'm not sure. What would you say to them, like as far as hiring them? Like what are some of the questions you would ask yourself to say, like in 2020 hindsight, to say, am I actually ready or am I not quite ready yet?
That's
It's a really,
hard because every company is different.
okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Um, I would say if you're not ready to not make any money off of them for 6 months, you're not ready yet. You
Okay.
have 6 months worth of paying them
Hmm.
without any expectations.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So when I hired the last couple people and also this guy, I'm like, I want you to go out and make friends.
Hmm.
I don't care about you driving revenue at this moment, right?
Hmm.
Um, and that's the other thing about me is like I know I can train somebody to sell because
Hmm.
that's what I do. I can't train somebody to shoot video.
Hmm. Yeah.
I can train somebody to sell video.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's my answer.
It's actually, so from my perspective, I think it's a good answer as well, because I think we think, naively we go into hiring a salesperson going, I'm going to get immediate revenue, or it's going to be a month and I get revenue. And I think it's a good thing to think about. It's going to take a while to build those relationships, because that's a lot of what sales is relationships. And I think having that in mind when it's like, it's not going to be a quick fix for something. You need to have this as a longer term, developing somebody more longer term, I should say. So yeah, I like that. So yeah, awesome answer.
And if you can't, again, don't have 6 months worth of cash
Yeah.
to pay them. No, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be moving the needle towards that.
Hmm.
Right? So I have certain things that that person needs to be doing to move the needle, um, and he is. So that's how I'm because I know if he sticks to the course, he's going to make a lot of money next year. And I also set up expectations accordingly in terms of the first year and the second year and the third year, because I'm like nobody knows you.
Yeah.
Right? Relationships today are more important than money. And I say that all the time. Like, I don't mind, I don't need to make my whole margin the first time that we work with you. Like, the relationship is more important. Let us, like, having you experience, I may be jumping off the rails here, but having you experiencing us and how we're different, because if I say it, is very different than experiencing it, and then experiencing my team and
Mhm.
understanding the team and the customer service that we have is going to get you to do business with us again.
Hmm.
And I've proven that time and time again.
Yeah,
So I don't mind, not making my full margin on the first year.
exactly. Because you'll end up making more in the long run, because it's not just a transactional thing; it's a relationship, which
Correct.
is a huge. I've seen this happen with friends of mine where the relationship is much more important. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting kind of towards the end of things, so I do always ask one question: what is a book or podcast that has had a major impact on your life?
Mhm. So I guess we'll say book.
Yeah.
Um, Good to Great.
Okay.
I
Nice.
mean, if nobody's read that or somebody hasn't read that, you got to read it. Got to read it. And there's a concept called the hedgehog principle.
Hmm.
That means that you go into something really deep and do it great, and then you can expand out. And we've been asked to be pulled in different directions over the years in terms of, hey, do you do websites? Hey, do you do social media? Hey, do you do this? And we could have,
Hmm.
but we've stuck on video, 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 video. And
Hmm.
there's so much to be doing with video that applies to video, video, video.
Hmm.
And I think we're really, really good. I don't think we're great yet. And there's some other things that as the industry develops that I want to develop in terms of the distribution and the marketing and stuff like that, that we're not there yet. So hedgehog principle, good to great.
Awesome. Cool. I love it, man. Well, Robert, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, dropping a bunch of
Thank
wisdom
you,
about
Andrew.
video
I
production.
appreciate the ask.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure having you. Thank you so much. Thanks again for joining us on the Hustle and Grind podcast. If you'd like to learn more about Robert, check out the link in the description.